Thank you, Joyce, for inviting me here to this beautiful place to share the most serious and fun thing that I do, gather my toys. Seem to like squirrels. About 5 years ago, when I first started doing open mics, my friend Dennis, who's not here tonight, gave me a call and I picked up the phone and said, "Hi, Dennis. I'm having a day like a Mike G poem," Dennis said. "I'm sorry," I said, because I understand what he means by that. He wasn't really having a good day. He was sort of having a hypersensitive response to the universe kind of day. Hypersensitivity is good in a poet. It's not necessarily good for one's enjoyment in life. It's just sort of one of the things you bear when you say yes to the calling. And I wouldn't wish any of you to have a Mike G poem kind of day, because that would be very passive-aggressive. As passive-aggressive as going to bed angry at someone you love without forgiving. But I'll share a few of the Mike G poems that I enjoy with you tonight. So thanks for being here. Folks, just want to let you know that my stuff is NC-17, so be prepared for that. Small kids, thank you. From the Damned One's Watchtower. What we need here are the delicate hands of a master. But there is no master, no hands. Just rough scrub and mandibles scuttling the rock for crumbs, ancient bubbles blown from the lips of long-dead little girls, popping, unsung, in the desert, and vapors, noxious in the night, tentacling towards our pores. The remnant is small. The sun is a lizard's eye. Quirky now, the trees shrunk to skeletal hedges, food for the hares who've grown with new eyes and tripled libido, and daffodils uprooting themselves for a taste of meat. Things aren't getting worse, the Damned One says. We've always been the dead. At dawn, the remnant sings for the angel they now believe in. They believe because she finally came, crashing into the sand one Sunday, sounding like hooting hens or a woman's orgasm. But we knew it wasn't that. The times of orgasm had passed, and the hens were something the ancestors ate. Saggy bagpipe moon, praying for grace not coming. Can we make out now? The Tin Man's tear ducts have rusted shut. It took 5 minutes for his brain to explode. The Damned One rants amid the ruined computers, skeletons of relatives, and splattered brain gunk. I want to make a baby, and Mistake shall be its name. The angel seemed too exhausted to process this. She babbled about her failed career in apocalypse management. Her appearance reflected a lack of benefits, gray wings, gray teeth, in need of bleach. "I'm sorry I've ruined your glee," she said. "Sometimes my glee's disturbing," he said, "so it's okay." Her crushed fingers twitched in the sand. "Take these in remembrance of me," she said, then handed him a golden ticket to Mars and a bottle of Viagra and died. No wonder Dennis didn't want to have a day like a Mike G poem, because it doesn't seem particularly psychologically healthy. Sometimes I take a break from the intensity and just try to write something fun with my love of language. So this is an example of that. Her tongue is stuck in a catatonic jungle, but I can save it, counselor. The blonde rhythm sucks the essentials from muck. We'll live to read McBride's new stuff and punch the puckered lips of universe. They ain't taking 25% down the bullshit hole. They ain't gonna garnish pennies without blood. The secretary emailed a frown with exclamation point, which means unleash the slaves and fight. That meandering, ecstatic, weeping demon beneath your skirt wants to get intimate with that something ecstatic part of me, and my unnatural love of licking badges says, yeah. I get paid to be stampeded by herds of dirty. I'm the horse bucking the 3 a.m. unreal rider, yeah. Let's allow the clowns to close out our shift. Let's holiday play in that long funhouse poem, yeah. Rockin' unnatural attachments, apocalyptic nuance, broken pottery and seared histories of suns breaking. The tree is Asian monstrosity with pods that refuse to bloom. Just pull on that trunk stuck in the quicksand and see. May it be snake or staff according to your needs. Save the deviations of the unclothed part 1, concluding with subtitled paragraph, Nethers on Fire. I'm scripture amid the languishment, man, but I ain't disarming suffering's nuclear stockpile, no matter how great the sex imprinted upon stone. Woo! It's time for me to make one of those sort of serious, pithy, wise remarks that poets who want to be remembered once they're dead make. Here it is. We expect our best poets to root for the humans and against the evil robots. I think most of us can agree on that, especially when it comes to watching a tennis match. It's my response when I watch Djokovic kick Nadal's ass. Nadal's my favorite tennis player. I used to be a big tennis player in high school. So I always root for the human, Rafael Nadal, against the robot, Novak Djokovic. The robot usually wins, except at the French Open. Straight sets. The robot vanquishes the human again. No surprise, but I get up early to watch. I need to see courage against the impossible. The onslaught is clean. The robot is wired to crush. The human's girlfriend's a drizzly ruin of makeup. The robot girlfriend glows like marble in the sun. Proud virgin robot needing nothing. Non-virgin human needing everything. The crowd is decidedly pro-robot, but no birds come for the robot's crumbs. They gather around the crushed human. The human vows not to kill himself so he can return to be crushed next year. It's only fair to the spectacle, the human says. The robot vows to crush the human again. Witnesses swear it smiles as it plugs itself in. The monkeys enjoy the sun once the clouds clear and papers are sorted into folders and forgotten and everything's clean for a never-happening party. You see, the general devolution tipped last week, but I, hunkered in cave with poems, am immune. The little fire makes a meditative light on the wall, and I think of all the wrongs and rights of a little life. Salt from tears and sweat construct the memory, simian hands beating drums with bones of friends, seasons of rain and a skeletal me somehow living. The loss is no longer too hot for me to touch. I have become the luminosity that one takes to the boneyard and back to the next world. Combining our vernacular over coffee on an unemployment reclaim Easter Sunday, we agreed upon my deletion. Yes, I was the incapable husband, banished to face the wall with the thick moss and the brambles, there in the moist shadow of the slugs you salted I love. What will forever do once I've evolved into a star? I don't know. Maybe the poem knows. I'll just be fireballing away into the galaxy, finally forgiving the women and the enemies for not being what I needed when I was me. May my light be neither petty nor vengeful. May the flames of replenishment approximate joy. As alien creatures turn their faces to me, may my heat allow them to bask meaningfully before the clouds obscure and the suffering returns. I think I'm going to read one more to end the first half. It's one of these kind of long, zany, chaotic, like G-Day poems that I used to enjoy reading and writing, but I don't do too much of anymore. But here's a favorite, and I have my props. The idea of impotence at Reed College. Night is not a negligee inlaid with flames, not an inspiration, not a daily blessing to me. The teeth of her nethers never sleep. I step towards her mystery, stop, return to the daytime safety of my little word games and the rageful grief of my fellow animals. I throw peanuts to the squirrels, jays, crows, and say, no use the rage, the echoes of bombast, the nocturnal scream-kissed carnival. In the end, I didn't raise the dead. I made noise, sometimes joyful, never for God, but for the wholesome demons the birds worship, worm half swallowed, languishing in throat. Consider the squirrel. Once I saw one clacking loudly up a tree with another squirrel in her mouth. I think the other squirrel was injured. It certainly needed to be carried. About 20 feet up, the injured squirrel fell from the other's mouth. The other tenderly retrieved her, dropped her again, retrieved, dropped, ran off with a rageful squirrel cry. I swear, fucking God, it was a rageful squirrel cry. Done with her advanced lessons in tenderness, I would bring to our bed if you were still in it. The squirrel ran. The squirrel also knows the fierceness of rage of failing to save the one she loves. The squirrel can't raise the dead either. So I accept the fertilizer go-round, the gallows laughter of swollen lymph nodes. This dream-haunted song turned funny to calm sleep. Calm down. I need to calm down. There's enough nuts for everyone. Nuts! The severed ant remnants reanimate, return to the uncertain hills. Snow falls on lymph nodes, godless glory of snow. Not yet. Not yet. This brain, this tongue not done. Gerbil wheel in flames not done. Burning. Because dying early smacks of cliche, I desist for now. But the demi-urge is not invited to my eschatology party. It is not my Peter. Near the end, Grandma's vagina was occupied by God. Grandma said near the end, Mikey, I'll spread my legs only for the Lord. Her relationship with it was different. Grandma, with her occupied by God vagina, was absolutely nuts, but nice. Trying to bribe the elephant past the mice across the high-wind, battered high wire, I got a peanut. We all got bad credits. I prayed the pagan world, but it's another lie, like science and Buddhism and baby Jesus. In the end, I'm left with a soft penis and ramen noodles unenjoyed, regrets for the humans I failed to save. And the 1% can give a fuck if the rest of us got tumors and boils, scabies and rabies, consumption and athlete's foot. 1,000 cancers consuming our brain, soul constellations and records. Where is hope to be found? Not here, says the mirror, adrift in the interstices of tears with a cell phone and a bucko 5. We got a final 2 deal, right, honey? You and me against the interstices. No dice? Well, don't worry about me. I'll be cowering in the afterworld Jack Shack, shredding paper because the Langoliers are coming. Shredding paper because the Langoliers are coming. The Langoliers are coming. The Langoliers are coming. I've been reported for suspicious inactivity. Vienna sausages are like tumors, but it's lunch, so I better swallow it, and I could give a shit about which village my grandfather was born in. I just witnessed a hummingbird bypass our feeder to feed upon the spider webs. Poor bugs. Of course, I make things up. Everyone makes things up. The universe is made up of made-up things. Where is truth to be found? Not here. The carnies concern me. I worried about their cabbage-based diet, their uncanny ability to guess everyone's weight, and how they go town to town slapping up those double-turning upside-down Ferris wheels overnight. Pressed against the cage door, I pray to the bolts. Be tight. Cooking my ramen noodles using the Old Testament as fuel. I'm done licking the floor for leftovers. Insanity of empire. USA, USA. We are not machines saved by loving grace. We are animals who failed at radical empathy. Consider the Costa Rican sloth. It reaches to pluck a leaf, yawns, falls asleep, repeats all day long. YouTube it for the laughos. I like making love for the laughos, not the orgasm. All those funny noises and clown contorted faces the sloth agrees. In the end, I didn't raise the dead. I made noise, sometimes the cheers and laughos, sometimes the bald spots and skirts quickly clearing the room. My joy was not for God. Tell my mother I made you laugh and cry. Tell my mother my life mattered to others. Tell my mother night is not a lover. It's just fucking dark. In the end, I pray that grace will make me a vampire and be my monster Valentine that will spoon each other forever in our blood-red double-wide coffin. Oops, that's not in the poem. In the end, I pray to no God but the invincible I for the cessation of vibration, now, forever, amen. And you, tender friend, like me, just want to be loved for who you are, don't you? For all that you are, good and bad. For all that you are, good and bad. Have a good break.